Black Sabbath right here on your Classic Metal Show with NIB. Following up some Red Dragon Cartel with War Machine. I thought I'd make a nice little tie-in there.
Why not? It's the same song.
Yeah, it sure sounds like the same riff.
Pretty much. So I want to thank Anthony Esposito, now of Red Dragon Cartel, for being a part of the show tonight. And he's over there in the great state of Pennsylvania, or Pennsyltucky, as we like to call it.
Right.
And I like that guy. I like Anthony. He's a good dude.
Yeah, nice guy, and certainly wasn't afraid to answer questions, now was he?
No, not at all. I mean, what has he got to lose?
Well, the gig, but he didn't say nothing bad about Jake. So
no, well, why would he? He's got nothing, he more or less, without saying it too much, he just doesn't have a lot to say about George Lynch, and obviously he doesn't have a whole lot of good things to say about Ace either. No,
he definitely didn't sound like he's trading Christmas cards with Ace.
Yeah. So, it's hard to, from an outsider looking in, to quite understand what goes on behind the scenes, but, these guys, like Ace or Lynch or any one of these guys who have made a career from their obvious talent,
right.
Barring Ace anyway.
Yeah, except for that no talent hack.
Yeah, more or less. They're very temperamental. And they're very known for their mood swings and, treating people, I don't know.
Like shit?
Yeah, more or less. It's kind of sad to hear about that, but I like it when a guy, like an Anthony, who's obviously he's played with these people,
sure,
can tell you that, hey, it's just part of the game. For whatever reason, it's just part of the game.
Yeah, it just sucks. The music business is really just full of a bunch of vile human beings.
Pretty much. Why are we doing this, Chris? I'm glad we morphed into a talk show.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently they're all the same, because I had this great quote I found about the crew said, boy, that John Denver, he was a real asshole.
John Denver?
John Denver?
Treated the crew like shit, wouldn't feed them. Yeah, so I guess it's everybody, not just rock guys.
Man, what a bunch of dicks, man.
Yeah, man.
Like if Gordon Lightfoot was a dick to the crew.
I can't imagine Gordon Lightfoot being a dick to anybody, can you?
Well, you know what? I actually had the opportunity to hang out with Gordon Lightfoot one time.
Yeah.
And he was really nice.
Yeah, but that's to you. Well, I'll bet meanwhile the band is like, man, I hope Grandpa has a stroke tonight, fucking bastard.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Speaking of the biggest dicks in the music industry, it's Tim James.
Isn't it T.J. James?
Yes. Well, depends on what day you ask me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, big rock star you are over there in Australia.
I'm ringing in quickly because we should be celebrating. We should be celebrating on the Classic Metal Show today because Johnny Suckinger is out of Skid Row.
Well, we'll probably mention that because actually Tony Harnell actually took part in a little CMS Facebook goofing this week.
Right.
Because, we're connected. We're connected with these guys.
Yeah, maybe I can actually go to the gig and actually have a good time now instead of hearing some guy that sounds like a cat squealer wailing through the Sebastian Bach material. I'm sure Tony will do a much better job.
I didn't know Van Halen was doing Skid Row covers.
Oh, dude, Johnny Solinger's worse.
Wait a minute. That is not true. Johnny Solinger is definitely not worse than David Lee Roth today. No way.
Johnny Solinger is good on the stuff that he recorded with that band, but he cannot do the old material. It was so bad. Ugly Kid Joe blew fake Skid Row away. And
Ugly Kid Joe's a better band.
Tony Harnell's in there.
Ugly Kid Joe was always a better band. They had much more talent in that band.
I just when I heard the news, I was grinning from ear to ear. Can I just ask one question?
Well, wait a bit before you move on. Before you move on to your question, Tim, since you brought it up, what is your thoughts and opinion on Tony Harnell joining Skid Row? Is that a good fit for you?
Well, I think it'll kick ass because Tony Harnell's a great singer.
Well, he is a great singer, but is it a good fit?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to hear it, but I'll guarantee you one thing: you'll sing the Sebastian Bach stuff better than Johnny Suckinger.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your question, Tim?
I was just wondering if I come all the way to Cleveland for this from Australia for this video gaming opening. Do you think I can DJ to play Shake a Leg for the Spastic?
Christ.
Tim,
I'll tell you what. If you make the trip from Australia to Cleveland, I will give you a coupon for $5 off.
Awesome.
I'll let you have $5 that you can keep in your pocket.
I'll bring my pension card. Hey, let's go.
Well, he only offered Bob Nalbandian a $2 discount.
Yeah, I'm hooking Tim up $5.
Sure.
If he spends $5,000 on a trip.
Exactly. Well, he's going to spend that Motley Crue money to come over here instead.
That what was it? $5,000 he was going to spend to fucking meet Motley Crue.
3 of them.
Tim is a rube.
Yeah, he's a character.
If Johnny Solinger would have met him and like shook his hand, he'd be like, "Oh, Solinger, he should be back in the band."
Right.
That was the greatest show I ever saw.
Sure.
Johnny always had a great hat, though.
Oh, Solinger?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He has a nice hat. He's a good dude. You know what? It's that whole thing. It's sad because when you would go and see the Solinger stuff, he was okay, but he was just a hair off. It's like a kid that's slightly retarded. You know, it's just not quite. It's like 2 + 2 is 3.8. You know, he's not quite right, but he's sort of right. And I do agree with Tim. When he played his own stuff, he sounded fantastic.
Was it better or worse than Jamie St. James and Warrant?
Jamie St. James and Warrant was just a fucking
Awful
mistake.
Yeah.
That was, and I love Jamie. I mean, Jamie's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yep.
But oof, Neeley, you saw that show too, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, here's a true story.
All right.
Let's see, when was this? This was like 2000 and I want to say this was around 2005, 2006, I think. Mm-hmm. There's a festival that happens every year over on the Illinois-Iowa border. It's called the Steamboat Days.
Okay.
I'm not. I know it sounds funny. What the hell is laughing?
Matt.
How many steamboats are there?
It's right on the Mississippi River. And there's like a outdoor venue over there. It's similar to like Nautica Stage or something like that.
All right.
So Don was here in Chicago, and he was here for a couple of days, and we arranged to where I would pick him up, and we drove down there.
Okay.
And it was DACA and LA Guns, Firehouse, and Warrant when Jamie was fronting the band.
Okay.
Well, this was right after Jamie just joined the band. It was like, I think it was maybe their first or second show where he was actually going to front Warrant.
So it was before you had that shitty album.
Yeah, it was before that.
All right.
All right. And so, you know, we were backstage and we were talking. He goes, Neeley, he's like, dude, man, I'm like kind of really nervous about going out there. He says, do you think people will accept me? You know, and I was just trying to use a little bit of psychology there. I was like, well, you know, dude, people know the songs. You know, they know the songs. I said, just go out there and do the songs that people know. You know, they're here to hear the Down Boys and Cherry Pie and whatnot. Whether it's Janie Lane or you, I said they're just here to hear the songs. It doesn't give. I don't know that people follow the individual members so much anymore. Right. You know, it kind of made sense to him, and he went out there and he actually put on a really good show.
Well, that was nice of you to lie to him like that.
Well, but he did. But he did put on a good show, though.
All right, well, you caught a different one than I did, that's for sure.
Yeah, they played here. We have a little kind of, it's the Pepsi Roadhouse, and they serve dinner. It's like a sit-down place. They have a lot of country shows, but they had rock shows all this time, and we knew the owner, so we were always there. We played there, too. But it was Firehouse. It was fantastic. Black and Blue. I'm sorry, Black and Blue. Warrant with Jamie St. James, a.k.a. Black and Blue. But he forgot things. He forgot segues and songs. And Eric Turner looked so depressed. It was awful, And then Great White was the headliner, and
burned the place down.
I said I would have rather died in a nightclub fire than sat through that.
Wow,
it was so awful. Firehouse was excellent, though. But
now, which Great White was it? Was it with Jack Russell, or was it with?
I had an oxygen tank or something. He had to sit down most of the time.
Yeah, that was probably about 2006, 2007, right, Ed? Because I think I saw that tour because it was L.A. Guns, Firehouse, and Warrant with Jamie.
Yeah, okay. I got them confused.
I don't care who I'm seeing. If they got to have an oxygen tank strapped to them, stay off the fucking stage. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think Lou Gramm had an oxygen tank, too, so no smoking
He's thinking
backstage.
Fly to the Angels, and meanwhile he's halfway there himself. Jesus Christ. What the hell?
Yeah, so... Well, so what about whoever replaced Tony Harnell in TNT? Because I saw miscellaneous clips of that from the cruise thing, and that was awful. But Tony was on the ship, too, singing in the lounge, and he was still good.
What was that guy's name? Tony Mills?
Tony Mills from Shy.
Yeah,
that was
he sucks.
Shy UK, Shy England, Shy.
Yeah, just Shy.
Yeah,
Give me all
Shy
you got.
of Talent. That's who it was. Tony Shy of Talent.
I don't know how you could replace that guy. You can't.
No, he was terrible. He was definitely terrible. And it's funny because, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know we were getting into this, but, and you know this, Neeley, and I mean, I'll say it for the fans, but you know this. I am pretty tight with Tony Harnell.
Yeah, well, Tony's been on the show about 3 or 4 times, and, we actually, I think that was the first time that we let Mikey do an interview with a quote-unquote rock star.
Right.
And Tony was really cool with it, and he just hung in there and answered all his questions, and, I like Tony. I mean, Tony's been on the show. The first time we hooked up with Tony was when TNT basically made their comeback.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he's been I would consider Tony a show friend.
I definitely, and I mean, even this week when I was posting goofy shit out there about Skid Row, and that Tony only got the gig because he would take less money than that girl,
that olive oil looking chick trying to do the
18 in life.
18 in life with the fucky effect on cranked up to 11.
Right. But I mean, one of the first people to comment was Tony Harnell.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny that he jumped in and
what do you think? Is he a good fit?
Well, see, this is the thing is, and I guess I'm trying to do the long build up to say no, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I will go see it just because I like Tony a lot, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But man, I went back this week and I listened to a bunch of TNT stuff, and I listened to his Westworld record, and I listened to, what was the other band that he was in? He was in one other band. And I don't hear the grit part.
Yeah, I don't hear the Sebastian Bach
thing. I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying that it won't be good. It's sure not going to be a knockoff.
No, not at all, which is why I was asking Tim just a minute ago, is it a good fit?
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, what do you think, man? I mean,
I don't think it's a fit. I mean, but again, I haven't heard it, and this goes back to the whole conversation we had earlier in the show about Jizzy joining Quiet Riot. It's just like Jizzy is a singer that has his own style, and he did fit the whole Rat thing because of the high whine that he has in his voice. But do I hear the Kevin Dubrow in his voice? No, I don't.
Yeah, see, I know, and I've watched quite a few YouTubes of him, and I think he does okay.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying if somebody said, "Hey, Kevin Dubrow sounds just like Jizzy," I would go, "No."
Especially now.
Yeah, exactly. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
I just forgot to mention something before. Can you guys talk about, this is changing topic yet again, can you guys talk about AC/DC at Coachella, because they freaking killed it. Hail and kill.
Again, this goes back. Why is our opinion so important?
Because we're gods.
I guess, but why does anybody give two shits what we think about AC/DC at Coachella?
Yeah. Well, Tim, now that you're listening for my expert opinion, I'd be happy to share since Neeley doesn't want to. I did not pay any attention to it at all. I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
Thank you, Tim, for paying attention.
But again, I appreciate Tim thinking that we have an opinion on everything.
Well, yeah.
But what difference does it make? If I said that Brian Johnson totally sucked or Angus Young, lost a step in playing guitar or whatever,
right,
would it make a difference? No, because Tim would go, no, man, they killed. It's just like, okay, so you got your opinion. They killed, and I thought they were average. All right.
Who's in for Malcolm? A cousin or something?
Yeah, cousin. Their nephew, is it? Their nephew?
Who cares?
Their nephew. They're playing for Malcolm.
Who cares?
Exactly.
He was the Rock.
Look, all you need is Brian Johnson and Angus, and you can put whoever, you can put whatever drummer you want, whether he's killing his wife or not.
Simon, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it always boils down to the singer and the guitarist.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about fucking Cliff Williams.
Which is why Led Zeppelin toured without,
John Paul Jones.
Exactly.
And Bonham.
Exactly.
John Bonham.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and no one cared. Everybody still filled every arena.
They did, and I went. So I know. I know that for a fact.
Does Tony Harnell still look like Mitch Malloy? Or
I don't know what Mitch Malloy looks like.
Mitch Malloy has blonde hair.
Maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm sure now Tony's probably growing the scruff out so he can look a little tougher.
He was always pretty.
Yeah, he was. I'll bet he's not. He's trying to look a little tougher now. And,
sure.
And again, I hope it works. Personally, I hope it works. And I would love to see Tony. I would love to see Tony just be in a band that tours the States, because God knows I do like TNT, and it's a band I never got to see because they never played here that I remember.
True. Well, what's the over-under? I mean, this is no slight against Tony.
I see 6 weeks.
I'm thinking under a year.
Oh, you thinking under a year with the band?
Yeah, with Tony being part of Skid Row.
Oh, wow.
How long did the other guy last? Way too long.
Well, but the other guy still kind of looked the part, and he sort of tried to pull it off, but Tony is a different caliber singer.
Yeah, and Tony doesn't put up with any shit.
Yeah, he's a different caliber. He's a crooner almost.
Yeah. Well, I would have said that the over-under was a year for the last 10 years with Skid Row,
right,
to keep being a band. So now, Tony Harnell, I think he goes over a year.
Okay.
I think he lasts 3 years. I think he does the EP and he does one more record, and then when he realizes that Skid Row plays in front of 43 people a night, he's out. But he gives it plenty of time to figure that out.
Sure.
And I hope I'm wrong. But, I mean, dude, you remember that one I went to this summer? Was it last summer?
Yeah, we asked Snake about it.
Yeah, and there was, like, no one. There was literally, I think it was like 24 paid or something. There was nobody at the gig.
What was the line that we launched on him about, there were more people at us, there were more people at something than at the Skid Row show?
Oh, I don't remember, but it was like that.
It was something like there was more people at the Ferguson protest than at the Skid Row show, or something like that.
Well, that's true. There were more people that were shot legally.
Yeah, that was it. That was the one. There were more people shot in Chicago than were at the Skid Row show. There were more people shot in Chicago last weekend than attend the Skid Row show. That's what it was.
Yeah, and I don't think Snake liked that too much.
I saw Tough with 0 people at the show.
Dude, that was. I'm telling you, this was at the Agora. And it was in
Holds a good bit.
the little room, but the little room holds 800 people. And there was 20-some. Because I was there to interview the band, and Billy Morris's band was opening. And I was standing in the middle I was with Stephanie. And I was standing in the middle of the room. And, I mean, there was nobody. Nobody. I felt bad for Billy. That's why I was standing there. And, boy, by the time Skid Row hit the stage, I was on the highway.
Boy, so yeah, you told me that. That's right. So Billy didn't sell any tickets either, did he?
Of course not. Billy probably took that gig the day before.
Why even bother to play?
Right.
That's because they probably made $5,000 off the promoter. Yeah. Promoter loses his ass, doesn't mean the band does.
Sure. Well,
Those guys, they got to eat.